Welcome to the Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast, where each week we're joined by leaders of Guaranteed Irish member businesses to chat about how they sustain jobs, communities and provenance. Supported by FBD Insurance, Ireland's largest homegrown insurer. Support. It's what we do.
Hello and welcome to the Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast. Hi there, my name is Bríd O'Connell and joining me today is Damien McCann, Chief Commercial Officer at Viatel, a Dublin-based telecoms operator and sponsors of Guaranteed Irish Tech Month, to chat about the tech sector in Ireland, how multinational job losses offer opportunities for Indigenous companies, and our upcoming technology think tank event. Damien, you're very welcome.
Thanks a million for having me here, Bríd. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, we're delighted. And you're always such a great supporter of Guaranteed Irish. And I love the idea of, I suppose, it's become quite popular at the moment to talk about Indigenous tech because it's really a growing sector.
Yeah, look, at big supporters of Guaranteed Irish. We wave the flag and have been for many years now. I'm just surprised it's taken me so long to get to the podcast, so delighted to be here. No, you're right. Indigenous Irish tech is really the golden boy of the sector at the moment, and particularly as you see, there's been some perhaps negative headlines on tech in general, but Indigenous tech really is coming into its own. So delighted to be part of that journey.
So Viatel, for those who don't know enough about the company at the moment, tell us a little bit about the history of it and how it has grown to such a great employer at the moment.
Yeah, so the roots stem back way back to when it was founded in 1997, founded by an Irish entrepreneur, Colin Piercy. So Colin founded the business on the campus of Dundalk Institute of Technology. He founded it as a hosting business and then evolved into that kind of regional ISP, internet service provider. You know, the internet was new. The rollout of broadband wasn't everywhere at the time, and some would say it's still not everywhere, but we're getting there. But Column's roots of the business were very much that bootstrap ISP, and from there, you know, it was organic growth and then mergers and acquisitions.
Now, you've gone on a very interesting journey in that space. You started off as a very small homegrown company, but you've got huge at the moment. You're into the hundreds of employees. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so again, you know, there's a mix here, right? So the journey has been the M&A story and the organic growth story. If we look at the M&A piece, that has been, right, there was probably a tipping point in the business back in 2018. We brought in a new CEO. Paul Rellis came in as the CEO.
Ex-Microsoft.
Ex-Microsoft. So Paul came in as our CEO and very much looked at the business, seen the potential in the business, saw the great customers we were servicing. And, you know, we would have said first up that the business was overly engineering focused as opposed to sales and customer orientated. And we went about a pivot in the business and changed how we focused about the services we deliver to customers, the support that we offer customers, and how we present the business externally. And that really, you know, started to pay off in terms of the customers we were starting to attract, the people we could attract into the business. And, you know, today we have, nearly 300 employees. We've, you know, in terms of the organic growth, we're in double-digit year-on-year organic growth, and it's really all coming together quite nicely. So we're delighted with the journey that we're on, but there's a lot of road ahead of us. You know, there's a long road ahead.
Absolutely. So in relation to that journey, Damien, tell us how important was COVID there and the working from home thing, because that definitely put pressure on companies like Viatel.
Yeah, look, appreciate COVID had such a negative connotation on a lot of people and businesses. You know, some of our own customers in different sectors really had a difficult time, but we were genuinely, you know, looking at the opportunity that COVID presented, right? It accelerated the digital transformation, the digital needs of companies. Sure. And we couldn't keep up with the work. Really couldn't, you know. And you look at some of the projects that we were involved with, the digification of stuff like the State Exams Board, the work we were doing with them around making the exams portal, bringing the exams portal into the cloud and bringing it into a digital environment that really suited a post-COVID environment. So projects like that allowed us, to hyper grow the business, and we really took advantage of that during that time.
And what sets Viatel then apart from its competitors out there?
Yeah, it fundamentally comes back to people, right? So every business, no matter what industry you're in, it really does come back to having great people and a great culture. So the people we have, we are blessed, absolutely blessed with the people we have. We attract talent from all over, internationally, from countries all around the world. But to do that, we got to create a great environment to land people into. And that's where we go above and beyond, and we constantly listening to our team members, looking for feedback, how we can improve the working environment. And that's, it's slowly but surely we get there, but it really is fabulous. Like, I was in the office this week, and you just buzz, and there's a real buzz off the people around the business, and our customers find that. One of our core values as such is that customers love our service. But that's very important to us, that we have that connection with our customers, that they love our service that we provide and love the service experience that we provide.
And I've been out there and I've come across some of your colleagues, and there is a can-do attitude, which is really energizing. And I think that's the difference between having such a successful business, possibly.
Yeah, like from if we look at the team, from the leadership team across the board, like each and every one of us, like we roll up the sleeves and get involved in the business. There's not a case of we're all sitting in our corner offices overlooking the lawns as such. Yeah. We're in there.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah, it would be nice, but no, like that's not us. It really isn't. It wouldn't fit with our culture, and it wouldn't fit with the DNA of the business. So,
well, actually, it's interesting because I know that you published a report recently on Viatel's gender pay gap being just 4.3%, less than half the national average of 11.3%. Big congratulations there. What steps have you taken as a company to achieve that?
Yeah, look, I appreciate the congratulations, but we don't think we like what we see is the work that we have to do to improve that. Yeah. We still see the gap, and we want to eradicate that gap. We don't want to be there at all. But we have taken measures. We want to make be a destination for all genders, and that.
Equality, really.
We offer equality, and there's no difference. And I see it, when I look at my daughter at home, I want her to be
for sure.
come into a workplace where it doesn't matter, that there's equal seats. And I look at our leadership team, people talk, and we're proud members of the 30% club, but we're the 50% club as such. We have a leadership team there, and we have that parity across the board, and that really I can't overemphasize, because I've been on previous leadership teams where it was kind of a 90% club, a 10% club, and really that doesn't work. It really doesn't. A healthy business has that parity, and you get different ideas, you get different energy, people bounce off each other, and really I can't say enough for the benefits of having that leadership. And then what that provides is that people externally coming into the business, they can see that leadership. They see the difference. They see the likes of our CTO, Eilish O'Connor. They see Gina Laverty, our CFO, and they realize, let's be part of this. It's something different. It's something fresh.
Yeah, and it's all news now. We have to do it. Otherwise, you're talking to only a fraction of the potential audience.
100%. Like, for me, it's amazing. It's still a conversation point.
I agree.
But we are.
But unfortunately,
we're still talking
it is.
about it. It is unfortunate.
But it's great to see companies grabbing the nettle and just running with it and changing it. And that what we need is game changers, not just from women but from men. And it's the men in the leadership who are going to make the difference. Actually, I truly believe that. So well done to Viatel on that. Now, you also announced a new initiative to help customers reduce their carbon footprint and to be more sustainable when refreshing their networks. How does that work? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So that's in collaboration with the partnership with Cisco. And what we're doing there is that, we're often at the edge rolling out these next generation networks, secure networks across customer sites. And I think of great guaranteed Irish members, the likes of Macaulay's. We provide the full connectivity across their estate here in Ireland. But often when we're out there, there's legacy tin or old kit that are routers that are sitting there. It could be hundreds, get into the hundreds of devices that are coming out of the network and need to be scrapped or dealt with in an environmentally friendly way. So what we have committed to do and working with Cisco is that we take back that equipment. It's recycled in an environmentally friendly way, that if there's any precious metals or useful components, that they're extracted and reused then in the world. So it's a case of less stuff into landfill, less equipment moving into the landfill side of things. And it's one step. I wouldn't say it's the answer, but it's part of a whole number of measures. And when I look at that whole environmental area, there's loads, so much more we can all do. Us in Viatel have much more to do in that space, but equally across the industry. So it's about these small steps, and a series of small steps can make a big difference, hopefully for the next generation also.
Absolutely. And there's a role for all of us as individuals to grasp that nettle again and play our role. And we can leave it to others, and we can leave it to large companies or larger countries. But in actual fact, if we all did our own little bit, it would make such a difference. In terms of what's coming down the track, what are the other areas of tech that you see dominating in the next few years? Yeah,
so like I mentioned earlier, the networks like we provide to the likes of Macaulay's, and we've been at the cutting edge of those. The term that they're used is the SD-WAN networks, and we really have been the market leaders in that space, and that's benefited us for the last number of years. If we're looking to the future and to be on the cusp of the next kind of growth phase for ourselves as a business and services that we're seeing in demand from customers, it's very much around the cybersecurity space. So we see that as a huge area for us in terms of the intelligence that we can gather from customer networks and help customers protect their networks. So cybersecurity for us is a big area of focus that we see over the remainder of this year and into the future, protecting our customers. And, you've seen some of the public stories, the horror stories that customers are facing there. And really, it's about protecting customers and, helping them not get into those situations. So watch the space in terms of cybersecurity and Viatel as we move forward.
It's very challenging space, and we're all worried about it, and we all put measures in place, but there's always something new coming down the road. From the point of view of a business, if you've the software and expertise to protect us, it's a kind of a no-brainer. But from the company's own perspective and for users, we are in grave danger. It's difficult to navigate, isn't it?
And the challenge is also making it, that the customer can say, right, there's Viatel, I've signed up for this service, and they're taking care of that service, but it's also affordable. And that's key for us, is that the service is affordable for Irish business, and that they can subscribe to it in a capacity that makes sense for the company. So, like I say, we've big plans in that area. We expect that we'll have announcements over the next couple of weeks. Then that should be some nice news in that space.
Okay, so right now we're just going to take a quick break to hear from some of our members.
Guaranteed Irish Business member Access Consulting has operated in Ireland for over 10 years, helping to achieve access to important new innovative treatments for Irish patients. With a team of specialists including health economists and medical writers, Access produces high-quality, evidence-based applications on behalf of pharmaceutical companies to demonstrate value for money that leads to state funding. Access Consulting are proud to be a Guaranteed Irish member business, which reflects their commitment to further growth in Ireland. Visit accesshealthcareconsulting.com for more information, and remember to look out for the G.
Well, as sponsors of Guaranteed Irish Tech Month and our upcoming Think Tank on Tech, which is a bit of a mouthful to say, I'm very pleased that you're with us this week as that's airing later this week. I want to talk to you a little bit about the job losses in the tech sector. It's hard to not talk about the elephant in the room. The tech sector has got a bit of a bashing, particularly with the multinationals. And as we know, they're making great returns to the exchequer. We need that foreign direct investment tax revenue piece to run the country. Are you worried about that? And has that provided, on the flip side, opportunities for Viatel to pick up some of those staff and that talent and bring them into Viatel?
Yeah, first of all, when you see people lose their jobs, that's
Horrendous.
It's horrendous, and you think of the families and the knock-on impact of that. So it's really difficult to see those headlines in the news, because you see the headline, but there's actually human stories behind those. There's children at home, etc., that are impacted by those. But what I also think is that the market's very buoyant at the moment. It's not like a number of years ago when, job losses and there was no alternative. There's definitely alternatives in the market. I listened to your podcast with Mairead a few weeks ago, and you think of, the buoyancy of the pharma sector as well, so there's other sectors out there that are really buoyant. But equally, as we said at the start of the chat here today, the indigenous tech sector is really, it's going
having
through
a moment.
A phase of huge growth, and there's real opportunity for these people that have learned fabulous skills with multinationals to apply those skills to the likes of a Viatel or other indigenous tech companies. And look at, like my career started with Dell, and I'm still applying things I learned all these years later, 17, 18 years later. Things and ideas that I got from Dell back in the day, I'm still applying today to business life. So I really do think that the role of those tech giants and the skills that people are walking out the door with, although the immediate news is quite harsh and shocking for them, there's definitely an impact that they can make, and probably a much bigger impact in indigenous Irish companies. So I would encourage them all, and they can reach out and have a chat with me. But I would encourage each and every person there that's gone through that difficult period to be excited and look outward at the opportunity here in Ireland.
Good advice. And I do see it very aligned to what happened back in aviation, back in the, I suppose, 80s, when you think of Ryans and Ryanair and GPA, and out of that came Ryanair, and the whole aviation leasing piece in Ireland is so strong now, we're leaders. So when you think about how that came about, isn't tech it's very similar?
Big time. Like I do think the entrepreneurs that come out of those companies, there's people that are sitting at home right now, right? And they're saying, what are my options?
Will I or won't I?
Yeah. Will I look at the current roles that Viatel have, or the likes of Viatel, or will I start up my own business? Will I challenge myself to, to get into a new industry? And I think that's an exciting opportunity. So I think point of inflection there. So we could have a lot of spin-off companies coming over the next number of months from those layoffs. So out of those ill winds, I think we'll see some positive shoots.
I agree. And I think wishing everybody success in that situation, because it is challenging and it's thought-provoking and it's frightening, but it's equally exciting. So take that chance out there if you're listening, and certainly pick the brains of the guys. And Damien has offered his hand up here to say he's available for that type of a chat. Viatel itself, I always like Viatel, Damien, because I feel you're a very open-minded, fresh-thinking company. You're open to new suggestions. And that for me is a company that can do anything. So when they're not set in their ways and a company is open for new ideas, that company for me has huge potential. And I see that you've been recognised as one of Ireland's best managed companies for the last 12 years in a row. Brilliant achievement. Clearly people love working there. How important is it to you to take care of your staff?
Yeah. First of all, in terms of the mindset of the company, 100%. And we spend a lot of time working on growth mindset, right? So that's from a leadership perspective, but also all our team members. So we all want people to be adaptable and able to change. And that stood to us right the way through COVID and anything else that happens in the business, that you can quickly adapt, change, and look for opportunity to move on. But in terms of the second part of your question around the best managed piece. So for us, again, we attract great talent into the business, and that's fabulous to do that. For us to be a destination employer, we work so hard at that, day in, day out. I couldn't tell you from a leadership perspective how much of our time we actually spend making sure that Viatel is the place to be, is the best environment for our 300 people across the country to be impactful and to be at their best for us. And it really, for us, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be doing our job. So it's so important. I can't stress it enough.
And there's a huge cost to that.
Yeah, there is cost.
Time.
Yeah, cost of time. But what's the cost of not doing it? For sure. So if you don't do it and you go and you're in an environment where talent is coming into the business, having a look around and saying, this is the place for me and moving on, all of a sudden you're saying, bloody hell, that's costing a lot more recruitment fees, training up people, talent and knowledge leaving the business. So I'd hate to think of the cost of not doing it.
Oh, great answer. So you're hosting our technology think tank event this week. What are you looking forward to, and what do you hope to learn from other panelists? Yeah,
so the technology think tank, I don't know who came up with the name, but it's a fabulous name. But yeah, so we have our CEO, Paul Rellis, and delighted to have Paul joining us. We've Martina Nocton from Microsoft and John Keeney from Cyro joining us. So first of all, what a fabulous panel, and the guys will bring fabulous energy on the morning. So I'm looking forward to kind of chatting around what are the hot topics at the moment in tech. What are the tailwinds that we're seeing in terms of any challenges out there that we need to be addressing, but also looking to the future and those green shoots that we're looking towards in the future. It's also a fabulous opportunity to network. So you think of all the different businesses that we'll have in the room. Like, when do you get an opportunity to get in, have a coffee and mix with? You could have someone from Microsoft, or it could be someone from an indigenous startup. So it's a really nice collaboration. And that's what Guaranteed Irish brings to a room. It's fabulous to see it.
Well, for all those out there who are listening, remember, if you're thinking about setting up your own tech company or looking to move to a great company, there's an opportunity to network and float ideas and see what's out there. So I think that's a great opportunity for people to come to. It's free to attend. You just have to register online at guaranteedirish.ie. On that very positive note, Damien, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and as always, been a wonderful supporter of Guaranteed Irish. If you want to learn more about Viatel services, we will leave a link to their website in the show notes. Thank you as always for listening, and don't forget to hit subscribe wherever you are listening.
The Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast, sponsored by FBD Insurance, Ireland's largest homegrown insurer. Support. It's what we do.